Triad MLS training, team functions in Matrix. In the Triad MLS Rules and Regulations document, Exhibit 1, the business rules, you will find the defined term for teams. The goal of this video is to explain all the different scenarios teams can be helpful to users of Triad MLS. The written instructions are found here in Matrix Help Training Guides. Use the link for resources for BICS. This is the step-by-step instruction document, and it's available for all users of Triad MLS, so if you're wondering why it is titled specifically for BICS, well, only the broker in charge can set up teams in the Matrix system. The broker in charge opens Add Edit in their Matrix account, where they will find teams, using Add New to set up new teams in their office or Edit Existing to make changes. Step 1 for the broker in charge is to find the team leader's name. When the BIC uses Find Leader link, all agents in that office will appear. The remaining data fields in the team information section is optional. This is a conversation the broker in charge and the team leader need to be having regarding what information is to be submitted. The only other mandatory selection is found here, Team Mode, with two options, Impersonate or Work on Behalf. This will be explained later. Teams can be used for multiple reasons in Matrix. This video will give real-life examples of all four. The first three in the list, well, these are clerical uses, while our last example will be team production. In our first clerical example, one agent, Agent Karen, hires unlicensed assistant Mary. The tasks that Karen has assigned to Mary are entering and editing her listings, emailing listings to her clients, setting up auto notifications for her clients, and running statistical reports. What is the first mistake that Agent Karen could make with unlicensed assistant Mary? Well, if Agent Karen allows Mary to access Matrix using her user ID and password, well, by sharing that password with Mary, Agent Karen would be in violation of Triad MLS Rules Section 9.3, Password Security, a Category 3 violation with automatic fines. So how does Agent Karen avoid making this very expensive mistake? By getting Mary her own Matrix user ID and password. In Matrix Help, Karen opens Triad MLS forms and uses this link to the unlicensed assistant request form. The form is completed, signed by both Karen and the broker in charge. Then it's submitted to Agent Karen's local association for them to process. Can Mary have an active North Carolina real estate license? No. Agent Karen may hire licensed assistants, but that person will have to join as a full member, just like Karen. Step 2, the association will notify Triad MLS of their new member, unlicensed assistant Mary. Mary will receive an email containing her user ID and password and instructions about the mandatory MLS training. Yes, unlicensed assistant Mary must complete the mandatory training within 14 days. For Mary to perform some of the duties that Agent Karen would like for her to do, the broker in charge of Karen's office must set them up as a team, with Agent Karen being the team leader. Now, allow me to explain impersonate and working on behalf. If Karen told her broker in charge to choose impersonate for Mary, all emails sent from Matrix by Mary will look as if they have come directly from Agent Karen. Any reports printed will show as if they were printed by Karen. But working on behalf, when that is selected, those emails or printed reports will display Mary working on behalf of Karen. Conversations must take place between the BIC and the team leader. In our first scenario, Agent Karen only has the one unlicensed staff person that will be on her team, but she could have additional staff as well as agents if needed. Using her own unique user ID and password, unlicensed assistant Mary logs into her Matrix account. When Mary needs to be in Agent Karen's Matrix account, she will use the drop-down arrow by her name in the upper right corner, and there she will use Switch to Agent Karen. Now in Karen's Matrix account, the system will function according to the selection made, impersonate or work on behalf. One other task that Mary is to perform for Karen is to enter and edit her listings. Mary can only perform these duties if Karen has been given ad edit rights by her broker in charge, and Mary has to switch to Karen's Matrix account to do this. With Mary being only set up on Karen's team, she can only enter and edit Karen's listings. Unlicensed assistants working for entire offices or firms, well, they do not need to be set up as a team. The broker in charge can give a higher level of access to those assistants. Another clerical team function would be a husband and wife working in the same office, but their production is independent of one another. From time to time, they need to help each other out, and they need to be in the other's Matrix account. Does the password security rule apply to husbands and wives, mothers and daughters, or fathers and sons in the same office? Yes, the password security rule applies to all users of Triad MLS. The broker in charge of the office would set up husband Chris as the team leader with wife Ashley as the team member, and then set up another team with wife Ashley as the team leader and husband Chris as the team member. Anytime two agents within the same office want to access each other's Matrix account, this will be a two-step process for the broker in charge. This is not an automatic reciprocal process. Our last clerical team function example is Agent Adam and Agent Becky. Working in the same office, their production is also very independent of each other, but from time to time they need to be in each other's account to help each other out. The broker in charge sets up two separate teams, and once logged into their own personal Matrix account, by using the drop-down arrow by their name, they may switch to the other's account when necessary. Our last scenario for team functions in Matrix is for production. Agent Joe works in an office. He does not own the office or the franchise. However, Agent Joe has several agents in that office, and they have all agreed that their listings and sales will all be under Team Joe. The broker in charge will need to set up a team, and we're going to label this Team Joe. Once the broker in charge has set up Team Joe, and when they get to step 6, the broker in charge is going to add all of the agents and unlicensed staff that are on Team Joe. All the team members, once logged into their own personal Matrix account, will see this on their dashboard, and they may use Switch to if they need to access one another's accounts. But Agent Joe, he does not need to switch to anyone's account, so he does not set up as a team member, only the team leader. Team leaders see this on their Matrix dashboard, and they may use this link to view all of their team members. Now let's take a look at how production functions. Agent Sam on Team Joe gets a new listing. Agent Joe must have a conversation with everyone on his team how they are to report listing agent information in the Matrix system. It is only the team leader that can direct the team members how they want this information displayed. These step-by-step instructions are in the Team Functionailty User Guide. Again, it is totally the team leader's responsibility to instruct their team members and their team staff how to enter the list agent data when submitting a new listing. How does Team Joe get the production on the sales side of a transaction? Again, these are the written instructions available to everyone. Please bring your attention to the highlighted section. You will need to provide the listing agent with your team ID to enter when a listing goes under contract. To avoid heartburn situation between listing agents and team leaders on the sales side, the team name as well as the individual selling agent's name can be included on the North Carolina Realtor Form 2T offer to purchase and contract. While a team name is not a standalone line of information on the form, the North Carolina Forms Committee has discussed this, and there is room for team name to be added when necessary without having a separate line. The use of Joint Form 3T for additional signatures could also be used. Team leaders and selling agents should not get upset with listing firms that are not willing to submit an agent's name or team name not found on an offer to purchase and contract. If there is a selling team, this information must be provided to the listing firm when the property goes under contract. There are several resources available for realtors and North Carolina licensees regarding teams in the real estate industry. On the NAR website, you can find legal issues for teams and a Windows to the Law video. The North Carolina Real Estate Commission includes an entire section in the Broker in Charge Best Practice Guides on teams. And this North Carolina Real Estate Commission Bulletin from 2012 is still very relevant in regards to unlicensed assistants, what they can and cannot do. Any questions about setting up teams in Matrix, please send those to helpdesk@triadmls.com.